If you clicked on this video, it's because you're interested in learning more about Go High Level. You already have Go High Level and you just want to understand it better. You've had Go High Level and you're still confused with it. Either way, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire system, everything that you need to know, the nooks, the crannies, and the in-betweens in this video. The last video I did like this was about 9 months ago. It wasn't as detailed as this one is going to be, and I'm excited about this, and I can't wait to get started. So let's jump right in. If this is the first time to your channel, my name is James Bonnies. I've done over $35 million in my coaching business, millions in my agency, and I've been doing this since 2014. I've had Go High Level since 2020, and I'm actually going to first walk through whether you even need it, number one. Number two, why you should listen to me and what it is that I know and how long I've been doing this, so you can understand that there's a right way and a wrong way to learn how to use Go High Level. And I want you to avoid the wrong way because it's going to create overwhelm. You'll be paralyzed by analyzing everything. And I want to bring you down the correct paths of the choices that you're going to make and why you're actually going to use Go High Level. Because who knows, maybe you don't need it. So let's jump in and jump on my screen right now. So I'm going to utilize my iPad and show you guys kind of these drawings. It's how I learn, how I visually see things. So as you can see on your screen, the way I look at Go High Level as a whole is the utilization and foundation of Go High Level can be used for agencies, for example. Go High Level was built for agencies. SMA agencies, LGA agencies, whatever, right? You're working with local businesses. However, it was built in a way and for agencies, but it has morphed into a lot more. This particular video is going to be a walkthrough for agencies. You also have coaches. More and more coaches. This is why I originally got Go High Level. It was for my coaching business, and I'll explain more of that in a few minutes. Then you could also utilize it as a local business. For example, right now I'm helping a buddy of mine who was owned a mortgage company, sold it, and bought a bank, and he's moving all of his agents, his loan officer agents that work for that bank, into Go High Level. So when I say niched, it could also be utilized as a business. A business owner could purchase Go High Level and utilize it for themselves. The last piece is affiliate marketing. And by the way, it probably could be used for more things, but this is how I look at it. The three tiers: SMA, agencies, coaches, businesses. And then you have kind of the affiliate marketing, which you see a lot of people doing, where their entire business is built around pushing Go High Level and earning commissions off of that. So you have like a 4-prong approach. So if SMA and agencies and LGA and working with local businesses, helping them get more leads and customers, the walkthrough is going to be geared toward you. A future walkthrough will be geared toward coaches because you're going to see and be blown away by the conversion that I went through in 2020, end of 2020 and into 21. So let's take a look at that evolution really quick. And it's important because it builds the foundation for you to understand the power of Go High Level. So I'm going to run through this really, really quick. Evolution part 1, 2017 to 2020. This is what I use: ClickFunnels, Schedule Once, Ring Central, Active Campaign, Jotform, Grade US, Pipedrive, ManyChat, and there's more tools that I was using, plus 30,000 zaps per month. That was $3,000 per month plus. I pay now $497 utilizing Go High Level. From 2018, especially for my coaching business, because it was so important for my students to find a fast way to build their agency, we were always looking for an all-in-one tool. And it wasn't until Go High Level came out that we finally got it. And so from 2017 to 2020, in my coaching program, we were teaching them ClickFunnels, we were teaching them Active Campaign, we were teaching them Jotform, we were teaching them ManyChat, we were teaching them all these things. And we live in an era now where starting an agency is so much easier than it used to be. So because the technology is what crushes people. With Go High Level, that is now the solution. So that brings me to evolution part 2. December of 2020, I purchased Go High Level. I actually wanted to purchase it in earlier in 2020, but I didn't believe it was ready yet. And it wasn't. It wasn't until December of 2020 that I finally purchased it. January of 2021, I started to convert my entire agency over Go High Level because as an agency, there's only certain things that you need. It didn't take as long as converting my entire coaching business into Go High Level. And that took me from February, March, April, and May over those course of the month, because what we would do is we would say, all right, let's move our funnels in there. Now we can get rid of ClickFunnels. Let's move our calendar in there. Now we can get rid of Schedule Once. And so we did it piece by piece, because if we didn't do it like that, our entire coaching business, when you're spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day on ads, it would explode. So I methodically moved things over slowly. In May of 2021, my entire coaching business was moved over directly into Go High Level, and we've been running our entire coaching business with no other softwares, nothing else tied into it since May of 2021. I went as far as wanting to create a snapshot for coaches that they can utilize and have everything done, and that is still going to happen. June, July, and August, I started to build all of the trainings for my coaching students. Hundreds of videos. We did 4 versions of this. So then when we were going to release it to our coaching students that are learning how to build an agency, they would get into Agency Toolbox, which is our white labeled version of Go High Level, and they could then utilize Agency Toolbox, learn it, and then when they outgrew it, go and purchase Go High Level directly. In the summer, July, I flew my COO in and built a way for my students can utilize Go High Level, and they no longer have to use ClickFunnels, ManyChat, Pipedrive, all these other things. It's not easy. It's not easy when you're teaching for 4 or 5 years how to use all these tools, because now all of the trainings have to be redone. And so over the course of all these months, our entire coaching program ended up having to be redone with Go High Level as the main foundation and tool. Frank, our COO, stayed with me for 30 days, helped me build out all the connections that were needed. So if a student wanted to purchase a trial, they can get into a trial. And then if they wanted a sub account, the process of how do they get a sub account since they're not directly with Go High Level. Anyway, that all works seamlessly now and has for a long time ago. So this, when I say listen to me, I could probably be a brand ambassador to Go High Level. I know every single piece of this software. So let's jump into the agency training. So as you can see on the screen, agencies. There is a methodical way to learn this software. You do not need to learn everything. And there is no reason to waste your time. And there is no reason that you need to learn things that have nothing to do with a service or your agency. So I look at this as a 4-step approach. If you're new to Go High Level, you're going to set up your agency. That's your foundation. Then all you really need to know is, what are my services that I'm going to provide? Typically, you have your message marketing, your rep management, and your lead gen. We keep things simple. If you don't keep it simple, you're going to crash and burn. So the trainings and what I'm going to walk through today is agency setup. And then if you want to do message marketing, or we call it reactivation campaigns, then this is how you're going to do it. If you want to do rep management, getting more reviews for your clients or local businesses, how do you do that? If you're going to do lead gen, how do you set up lead gen? Because ultimately, why do you care about trigger links when you don't utilize trigger links? Why do you care about chatbots when you don't utilize chatbots? So you need to understand what it is that you're going to utilize, and then you're just going to learn the utilization and the setup behind it. And I'll give you another example of what I mean when I say only learn what you need. So if you look at, for example, coaches, if you were a coach watching a training video, these are the things that you need to learn. You need to learn the setup, the funnel, the forms, the surveys, the automations, the contacts, the sales pipeline, the salespeople, staffing, payments, the Zapier portion of Go High Level, how to create contracts, membership sites, trigger links, custom values, custom fields, SMTPs, domains. All of these things coaches need, and all of these things agencies need. And that's how you need to learn this. So let's jump into the actual agency training. It only makes sense to start with the pricing. And although sometimes things change, essentially here is, from my understanding, directly from Go High Level's website, as well as one of the managers over at Go High Level, this is the most up-to-date. So for $97 a month, you have your agency dashboard, which we're going to go through and walk through in just a second, plus 2 sub-accounts or 2 clients. A lot of people always ask, well, once I set up one client, what if I lose them? Well, you could just reuse that sub-account for another client. The $297 is the unlimited clients. That means that you get to add as many sub-accounts, as many clients as you want. Now, I will put a list of here, the 97 plan, the 297 plan, and then the 497 is literally just the ability to resell Go High Level to a client, or if you want to sell SaaS, whatever it is that you might do. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know my thoughts on that. Not going to get into that in this video. And then you have an additional $497 for a white labeled app. So you can kind of say, hey, instead of downloading Lead Connector, you're essentially going to say, download my agency toolbox app, right? We've never utilized it. And also another really big point that people always ask me about is, if you take the 97 plan and you move to the unlimited plan, well, obviously you don't need the 97 plan anymore. If you have the 297 plan and you move to the 497, well, you don't need the 297. So it would only be 497. And the only caveat would be if you added the white labeled app, that would be an additional. So you'd be paying $896, whatever it is, $894, I think. So that is the, so then you would be adding this, okay? We are run my whole business out of this, and this SaaS configurator we just utilize for our coaching students. That's the only reason why we need it. Okay, if from my agency account, we don't have the SaaS configurator. Now, I did talk about how you can create your software with the service and utilize SaaS the configurators and utilize the ability for people just to pay like that. But I like to invoice, set up recurring payments. We just do it. And everybody's different, right? Every niche is different. Every pricing is different. Depends on the niche and all these other things. You could always check out that video that I did there or join my free resource section, and I have a niche pricing list there. Also, don't forget, since we're segueing into the walkthrough of this training, like, subscribe, comment down below, share this video for anybody who might find it useful, and make sure you turn the notifications on because I have many more videos in the works. So what you see in front of you is my agency dashboard at the SaaS configurator level. My other account that I utilize for training purposes only is at the 297 level, and you'll see there's not as many. So let's slide this here. And so as you can see here, agency dashboard is the same, SaaS configurator is not there, prospecting is the same, sub accounts is the same, snapshots, reselling, marketplace, affiliate portal, partners, university, SaaS education, ideas. The SaaS fast track is teaching you how to sell SaaS, ideas, and the mobile app. So that is basically the difference. Again, if you rewind back to the pricing page, I listed all the differences up there as well. And so what I want to utilize now is, because really the only difference is the SaaS configurator, we could just sit in this main account. Now, what you're going to see here is if you tie in a Stripe account to your agency dashboard or your business setup, you will have the ability to see, last month's revenue. And I have a blur option here because I do not want to share any information that may make YouTube take this video down. So I'll have that on and I'll toggle it off as needed. So that is what you're going to see on your agency dashboard. Now, since we're in the SaaS configurator, you can see these are my 3 plans here that I have set up that students utilize, and they have the ability to purchase directly from a website. within each one of these plans, you can essentially give each plan different features, and we'll go through that once you see the toggle buttons and everything that Go High Level offers. The prospecting tab is essentially, matter of fact, I think I can, yeah, I don't need to blur that. Prospecting tab is pretty cool. So for example, and again, this is all public information that anybody could find online. If I wanted to prospect utilizing different businesses in my local area, I can simply add a prospect. I could type in towing near me. It'll pull tow truck companies, and I can utilize this, and I can click it, and I can save the prospect, and it will generate a report for me that I can then send to that business and say, this is what is wrong. I can help you fix it, right? That's what business is. So let's go back here because it takes a little bit of time to build, and I'll show you an example. So this would be a report. So I could actually send that report out. Review summary, they have a lot of reviews. Listings are kind of all over the place. Our address is not matching on certain listings. They have 98% 5-star, 4.9 in the Facebook. Here's some of the reviews. And then their listings, as you can see, MapQuest, there's no match, so on and so forth. So you can utilize this. We don't. So that's a pretty cool feature. If you go into the sub accounts, here, there's an actual difference between this plan and this one. If I go to sub accounts here, you will see and notice how in the 297 level, all you're looking at here is just basically, oh, this is the sub, or this is my client. If you look at it on the 497 level, it's giving you users, contacts, how many calls they've made, how many appointments were booked, how many emails were sent, submissions, reviews, text messages, etc. So you get a lot more data here, and it's great to utilize that info because some clients will be like, hey, what's going on? I've been working with you for 3 months. What's going on? Well, in the last week, you've gotten 14 calls. You've utilized it and made 370 calls. You've been on the phone for 2 hours and 51 minutes, and you have now an extra 282 contacts just in the last 6 days. So you almost have that proof of I'm doing everything that I said I would do, and here are the results from it. Now, of course, a lot of businesses always want the more customers, not necessarily more of anything else other than customers and money. And so you'll have that ability as well to listen to phone calls. So we'll get into that. So that's the utilizing the sub account data on the 497 level. Account snapshots, Go High Level has basically their own built-in. So if we look at real estate snapshot, everybody gets this. I believe at this level too. Yes, they also do. And then you can, watch some of the video that explains how to set it up, all that good stuff. We don't utilize any of the account snapshots directly from Go High Level. We have our own. So as you can see here, we have 119 different snapshots, 32 different niches. Matter of fact, we have a lot more now. So you have like pain injury, pain management, plumbing campaigns. This is where we utilize that, and our students can utilize that. And then you have your imported snapshots. So typically, there's a lot of resellers out there. So somebody might be selling a real estate snapshot, and if you've imported it, they would be over here as well. Reselling. So we can sell to our clients Yext listings, citations. High Level charges you, the agency, $30, and you can upcharge it to whatever you want. That's monthly basis. You can offer it into the SaaS plan if you wish. You could resell WordPress if you want. Hosting of WordPress. Put it in a bundle. Again, our students utilize Yext listings. Not that I know of any WordPress. I did have one client I built on WordPress that we utilize in here. You have the marketplace. This is somebody that just needs an account set up. It's a lot of money, but an account set up. Like my agency Toolbox, priority support. We obviously have that. White labeled mobile app, white label Zap. This is quarterly payments. You have the Eliza, which is I believe a chat bot. We've thought about using it, never did. And then you could make your entire agency HIPAA compliant by paying $297 a month more. And if we go back to the pricing plans, that would be again an additional $297. So if you did do the SaaS configurator, the white label ad in the HIPAA compliance, to be $497 plus $497 plus $297. Affiliate portal is the affiliate portal. Everybody you've recommended and that are paying customers will be there. Partners, I guess you could become a certified partner. Don't know really too much about this. University, this is where you can learn, go high level, but if that worked, you wouldn't be on this video, would you? So I don't know how dated or outdated it is. One thing that I did find that the internal trainings tend not to be updated very quickly. And so a lot of people do go to YouTube to find trainings because the trainings aren't matching. SaaS education, SaaS fast track, that's just go high level trying to push their way into teaching you how to sell SaaS. We don't really need to talk about. Ideas is basically like, what's next? What are they building? What have people asked for that they're currently working on? The mobile app, they have, you can customize it. You can use the generic brand, or you could use the high level. It's just a different color. Again, that's what I talked about in the plus 497. Now you have down here, we have client, calculator, go leads, and then our support. So these are just extra menu items that I've added. So these will not pertain to anything that you do. So once you get down to mobile app on the 297, we can now go into settings. So once you get into the profile, it's just first name, last name, email, phone number, platform language, and then password that you can change whenever you want. But the company information that I believe I can share here is where I would put my company logo. That goes here. So our company name, email, phone. I deleted some of this stuff because I don't want to show it on YouTube. White label domain. So again, agency toolbox. So we have a agencytoolbox.io domain, and our white label domain is app.agencytoolbox.io. API domain is the link. And then you can link out to privacy policies. Here's just company information. You can optimize your experience, toggle things on and off. For example, like conversational AI, workflow AI content. I don't utilize any of that stuff as of now. A very simple person. It may be something we do in the future. And so now the team area is going to be most likely your clients will be utilizing it. So they could be an account admin or an account user. So they will be added to this as a client or when you have a client. Now, if you have a client that you run that client in Go High Level, then there will be, and nobody else is on that account, then you may not have anything here. It may just be you. So in the billing section, is just going to tell you everything you're getting billed for. That's really it. You could head over to payments, and you can see all the payments that you've made to Go High Level and what they were for. And if you look at wallet and transactions, you'll see, I mean, you can see through this blur, but, and so what this is, the reason why these numbers look so big is because the clients on our Go High Level are texting, are emailing, maybe through Lead Connector, or making phone calls, and we are just rebilling that. So we'll go through that in just a second. So obviously we collect way more than what you may or may not be able to see here. Snapshot. This is where we can create a new snapshot, which is really, really cool because let's say I have a realtor client in Wayne, New Jersey, and I did really, really good for him. I'm running Facebook ads. They're getting more reviews on Google. Well, what I would do is I would create a new snapshot, and if I can land another realtor 15 miles away, and I can create a snapshot based on that account and then upload it into a new account, new client realtor, and basically rebuild it, but fast. Because if it's working here, why wouldn't it work there? That's the beauty of the snapshots. Phone integration. This is going to tell you the sub-account name or client name, whether you're rebilling or not, and who is the rebilling coming from? Is it Lead Connector phone, or is it directly with Twilio? We utilize Lead Connector. We used to be direct to Twilio. We moved everything over to Go High Level's Lead Connector. Email services. This is always a crazy, confusing thing for people to understand. Utilize Lead Connector. You can always add another SMTP service like Mailgun, Gmail, Yahoo. And then what you would want to do is no matter what service you utilize, you need to add a dedicated domain by clicking dedicated domain, and you simply just add the domain and walk through and do that walkthrough that Go High Level provides. I believe I have a whole training on it. If you are either in my coaching or purchase Go High Level through my affiliate link, a training on Lead Connector email and how to set up a dedicated domain. So there's a training on that in both my coaching students as well as anybody who purchases Go High Level through me. So that you can utilize that if you happen to purchase it through me. LC Premium Triggers and Actions. Again, this basically is, are you rebilling for Lead Connector triggers, Lead Connector actions? You can or you can't. The whole point of Go High Level is you don't necessarily want to incur costs on things that you don't have control of. So if you get a client and you allow them to call out of there, text out of there, phone out of there, you need to rebill them directly to them, not to you. I've had a situation while I was away this summer where somebody sent out millions of emails and hundreds of thousands of texts. And because of that, I'm a big proponent of don't try to package your service which includes anything that you have no control over. So your service for running Facebook ads could be $9.97 a month, and you get their credit card on the sub account, their credit card on the ads. You need to control where the money is being billed to. Don't try to capture your client's phone charges to try to give them a great deal. You need to take care of that. So make sure that your client's credit card is on file in their sub account. Affiliates, this is just where you get your affiliate link. Custom menu links, like I talked about, like what you see down here. Here's where you connect Stripe. This is where you're going to find your agency API key, as well as if you have clients, what their API key is. Now, why would you need that? Well, maybe you want to like zap something into that account. Well, that's why every sub account also has their own API key. Remember, agency, where I am now, dashboard, is no clients. It's just where you're running your agency out of. Any of your clients are in sub accounts. Compliance, this is what I was talking about, HIPAA compliance, GDPR compliance. Here you have Launchpad. And so in the $497 level, you have the ability to turn the Launchpad off or on. I currently have it off on this account. And on the $297 level, you don't have that ability to turn it or to get rid of it. So as you can see here in one of the accounts, you have your Launchpad. Essentially, it's like a checklist. Did you download the app? Did you generate more? Did you connect your Google Business Profile? Did you connect your Facebook? Did you put a chat widget? Did you connect your Stripe, your WordPress? And you can add a team member from here. It's kind of like a checklist. Okay, so it's actually pretty good, especially if you're new to Go High Level. This is good. Labs, Go High Level releases this to certain accounts. This allows you to test new things. I think I could show this. So Profile V2, SaaS Configurator, and Marketplace Apps. And then, of course, your audit logs, which is basically telling me like what is going on in my entire portfolio of Go High Level and their clients for me in my account. What's going on? What's the last thing they did? And it just keeps a full log of it. All right, so that concludes the dashboard. So let's jump now into an actual account. So I'm in a concrete and hardscape, a client that like a brand new client, okay, to the point where I haven't even started setting them up, except for creating a sub account for that. So it's a perfect sub account to start doing it, just in case, again, I don't share any personal information. So on the left side, you're going to see your menu list. So let's, again, look at the difference in the SaaS configurator level, the 97 and 297 level. This is basically the 297 and 97 level. Again, really the only difference between those is the amount of accounts you could have. So you have Launchpad, which we talked about. I just have Dashboard. We have, on my end, Tasks. They have the dashboard here, so that matches that. And then Conversations, Calendars, Contacts. They call them Opportunities. I call them a sales pipeline. I changed the wording on my menu. Then you have Payments, Marketing, Automations, Sites, Memberships, Reporting. On this account, you see there's no reputation. That's just because I've edited a menu on this one because I was building this account for coaches and consultants. So you'll have reputation and then reporting. And again, these are my custom menu links outside of mobile app. So let's just utilize this account here for demonstration purposes. So dashboard. Now, this is not the agency dashboard. This is the account dashboard. It's going to have opportunities, your pipeline value, conversion rate. Your tasks, you can create tasks. Let me get this out of here. You can create a new task to keep track of certain things. And here's my conversation tab. And here you have manual actions, templates, and trigger links. Calendars, you can create calendars. I will go through these. Contacts, but I want to get to contacts because it's very important for you guys to know how do contacts get into Go High Level. It's one of the most commonly asked questions. So let's look at that. So since we're talking about contacts, again, it's a very common question that we get asked. So let me just tell you how contacts typically 98% of the time land in Go High Level to start the automations, to have the data, to know their name, so on and so forth. And so this is how it works. You can upload contacts directly in it. And I'm going to show you each one of these ways. You can upload contacts. Contacts can enter through a form. They can enter through a survey. They can enter directly through like a lead ad on Facebook. If you map the fields to the Facebook ad, and then Zapier or any of the other softwares that have APIs and connect. This is the 5 essential ways to add contacts into or get contacts into Go High Level. So the way you would upload contacts is you just hit import contact from the contact screen and you have to map the fields you upload. Let's just do it. So let's upload a sample list here. So what it's going to do is it's pulling from the list. And so here's the name, here's the email, and it's giving you examples of them. Now, I will unequivocally tell you that for this to work, you need to have the country code, so US, +1, and then the area code, or it's not going to pull it in correctly. So this would be customer name. So I would look for the field that says name. Customer email, so I would look for the field that says email. Customer phone, so I look for the phone field, and then tags if you want to tag it. This was an example list. And so once I do that and I hit next and I upload, I will have a whole slew of contacts in there. That's one way. Now, let me give you a caveat. If anybody is not brand new and working in here, always make sure your automations are set properly before you upload lists, because I've seen bad things happen. Meaning you upload a list and you forget that that automation doesn't have a trigger, and all the contacts just went into that automation, but I didn't want them to go into that automation. So always double check that. That's one way. I'm going to jump around just a second because we're sticking on how to get contacts, and we'll go back in order. Up here, we have funnels, and I'll get to this portion, but here you have forms. So essentially, a form that is on a website, and it could be a website that is not even built in Go High Level. As long as the form is embedded, it will pull the information from the form. A survey, as long as a survey is embedded on a Go High Level page or a WordPress page or a ClickFunnels page, it doesn't matter. It will pull the data in. A lead ad, I'm not going to go through lead ad training on this, but you can map fields through a Facebook ad, which is a lead ad. If you map the fields, then somebody fills out the information on Facebook and it gets mapped and pulled into Go High Level. And Zapier, if you don't know what Zapier is, it's just a software that connects two softwares together. And through API calls, you can have a form on another site, and anytime a form comes in, it sends a zap from that site into Go High Level and pushes the data in. Very rarely used because it's not necessarily needed, because most people who use Go High Level use everything in Go High Level. But these are the 5 ways to pull contacts in. So in your conversations, you could do manual actions. You could have templates. and trigger links, I feel that I need to show you another account that has data in it. So I have to hide the data, I'm sorry. You will see text messages, phone calls, emails, all in the conversations tab that is happening within Go High Level via the contacts. So if a contact is in there and you're emailing at a Go High Level to them, you're conversing with them, it will all be stored in the conversations tab. Manual actions is basically going to just show you everything outside of automation. So if I manually added a contact, it's going to show me this. If I added them to a workflow, it's going to show it, as you can see here. So that's all that is. Templates, these can be utilized in the conversations tab by simply creating a template, because maybe you don't want to continue to say the same thing to different people. And you can, in the conversations, let's see if I can show an example. I could click email, and down here at the bottom, insert template. And you get to pull from here, from a template that you created. Trigger links. Essentially, trigger links, I'm just going to explain what trigger links are. Trigger links is the ability to create an action off of a link click. So let's say I'm sending an email, a cold email, and I want to know, or I want to send a different email if, and I always bring trigger links back to the if then. If somebody clicks this link, take them out of this automation, put them in another automation. It's the easiest way I can explain it. And if you just put any link in there, you wouldn't be able to create movements, because how does the system know if they click the link or not? So a trigger link gives you the ability to track properly, move people around based on link clicks. And it just allows you to do those things. One of the things is rep management. When they click this link, when they click this trigger link to give a review for client A, I don't want to continue to send them down the same automation telling them to please leave a review, because they most likely already left it because they clicked the link. I want to remove them, and that's what trigger links are used for. Calendars. You have the ability to create a calendar. So let's just go here and explain this. A simple calendar is mainly used for physical events and meetings. A round robin calendar is used to be able to, you have one link and you have multiple salespeople or multiple staff members on it. And then you can set it up to say, hey, this is the order. So after Kelsey, it's Nick. After Nick gets booked, it's Robert, so on and so forth. A class booking calendar allows the user to book a call or schedule a meeting with the ability to choose who they want to book it with. And collective booking it allows the user to book a meeting with multiple people. The only calendar, the only one I use is round robin. I've tried all the other ones. Round robin is the best one to use, at least for everything that I know in coaching and business. There should be no other reason that you would really need any other calendar other than the round robin. And if it's only you, just use a round robin with just you. Preferences, so you can create different preferences for the calendar. Availability, so you're going to create your availability here. And then connections, you need to connect your Google Calendar to this. Contacts, we went through. Again, you can have all the name, phone, email, when were they created, the last activity they had, any tags that they have. You can add all these different columns based on information that you want on that contact, information that you've collected on that contact. Sales pipeline, or they call it opportunity. We call it sales pipelines. Essentially, you just go here, you create a pipeline. It always gets stuck up there, by the way. For some reason, there's like a little glitch here, but that's where you create the new pipeline, and you just put the stages, the stages that you want the pipeline to go down. For example, for us, we have the survey was completed, the appointment was scheduled, they no-showed the appointment, they rescheduled, they put a deposit, was no sale, they were sold here, didn't sign yet. This is like a whatever you do, nobody ever contact them again. We call it the DNC, and then disqualified. Meaning, like, for example, somebody that's 16 years old books a call on our calendar. You need to be 18 or older, so you're disqualified. We slide them in there. And that's how we track we first build the pipeline. I believe I could show this. So here's email marketing. So let's just open that. And so you have new lead, open, clicked, open 2-time, replied, engaged, appointment, proposal, closed. And that's what that pipeline looks like. Then you have your payments tab. I've helped students create these, but I've never created one myself. But it's actually pretty simple. If you have Stripe connected, you can create proposals and estimates. You can look at your orders. You can look at your subscriptions, all the transactions. What products do you have? Any coupons, settings? Here's where you go to your integrations. So now you have Authorized on Net, Stripe, NMI, and PayPal is what your connections can be, which is a far cry from what it was only Stripe a year and a half ago, I believe. So this is actually a really, really good feature, especially for agency owners, because now you don't have to go get Wave apps. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You could do most of it in here. Marketing. This is where you're going to find your social planner, your email campaigns, any templates you want to create, trigger links, and any affiliate management, which for you guys, you wouldn't need that. The fun part of the automations. This is where, again, I think of automations as if, then. It's like I learned this in college on Excel. If this happens, then I want this to happen. That is what an automation is. I can go in and show one, I guess. Let's look at this one. So as an example, if somebody books an appointment on this calendar, tag them this, and internally notify this person with their information. That is a notification. I mean, that is an automation. When something happens, I don't have to do anything. I've set it to automatically do what I want it to do. Sites, of course, you have your beautiful funnels, which I believe Go High Level does one of the best jobs in the funnel builder. Believe me, I've used many of them. You have websites. A lot of people will ask, well, if I build a website in Go High Level, can I rank it? And the answer is yes, it's a website. People will argue with that, but there's no reason to believe that you can't rank a website in Go High Level. The cool thing about websites is it gives you a separate way to edit pages. It gives you a way to create menu items based on the pages that are here, like a drop down. And funnels, no different than any other funnel builder. Like we have a home and you just click edit page. You can go to publishing. You can go to settings up here. You can hook up a domain over here. That we'll get to the domain section there. It'll show you sales. It'll show you stats and steps. It's a traditional funnel builder. Blogs, you can create a blog onto the website. You can create a WordPress site directly in Go High Level. I did that for my Hardscape client. A client portal. Basically, if you want a client to be able to log into something, you can set all that up. And forms and surveys, which is just a simple way to create a form. Here's my 10K club application for students who hit $10,000 in a month. You can add first name, last name, date of birth, phone, email, button, text, HTML, image. It's kind of like the funnel builder. Let me go back to that. Then once you save it, you can click integrate, and you have the way you can embed it. You can copy the form link. You can open it here. This is what it looks like. You can embed it on a page. Or in the funnel or the website, you simply can choose it, which I love so much. And so you have your typical funnel builder. I mean, I feel like a lot of people already kind of know how to build funnels, but it's really easy. You just add things. I don't know. Purchase under my affiliate link and you'll have a whole slew of training. So I can add let's say a form, or let's say a survey, and I can now just collect a survey. So This is very different than and this is one of the features that I love the most, is that I don't need to create the form in the funnel builder. I create the form outside. The forms and surveys live outside of the funnels, and all we do is connect the funnel or the website to the form. That, again, remember we talked about this, with the contacts are brought in through forms and surveys outside of uploading in Zapier, in through forms and surveys. And because of that, they're separate, because they could be used in any funnel inside or outside of Go High Level. Membership sites, I don't like Go High Level's membership site. I use Kajabi for my coach program. I wish I could move into this. I just don't like it. So a lot of people maybe do. I just feel I don't like it. Doesn't feel professional enough to me, so I don't even need to talk about that. Reputation, whatever you connected to this account will show here. So overview, you have your requests. Did I send any requests out? You could send a review request right here. Name, I could just choose one of the contacts here. Once I choose a contact, it'll pull up their information. I can send it as an SMS or an email. And this is one of the things that a lot of people ask is like, hey, it's cool to do a database reactivation, but what about new clients? And so the answer to that is Zapier, or you just have the secretary in the doctor's office sit here with a screen over here, and when somebody checks in, you put them in, and then you just, as they leave, because they check out, you just click the button that says, here, send review. Choose their contact and send review, and hopefully they'll leave a review. Here's all the reviews that you would get, and here are the listings from here, all the online listings. Google My Business, Alexa, all that good stuff. Reporting, in this here, you'll have, if you're running Google ads for the client, you're going to see all the data. They can see all the data if they want. Facebook ads, you could see all the data. They can see all the data. Here you have your attribution reports. Here you have your attribution report, conversion report, and source report. Basically, this is saying like, hey, looking at all your sales, where did they all come from? Call reporting. I think I could show this. In this sub account from the 13th to the 19th, we had 55 missed calls, 35 first-time calls, and here's all the calls with the recordings. Agent reporting, I can choose, let's say, Nick. Let's choose Nick. There's Nick's data. So he's got 270 leads. This is actually new, by the way. They just released a lot of this stuff, so I haven't even looked at this. He had 383 calls, 346 answered, 12 missed, 25 failed. This is just more data. Appointment reports. I can look over here. Where did they book on the calendar? When did they book? When did they first come in? Who their name is? And then the total booked, confirmed, showed, no showed, canceled. We have our mobile app here. In this sub account, we're currently utilizing the Lead Connector app. And then Client Calculator. Go Leads is something our coaching students have the ability to request leads from us. And then we have our support. This is how they get support. Again, you won't have those two. You won't have these three at all. And that concludes this portion of the dashboard. And now let's jump into the business info settings of a sub account. All right, so now that we're obviously in the sub account, it is extremely important, and we're going to get into this in a few minutes, but the business profile settings is a very important piece of the setup process. And the reason why is because now in the US with the A2P registration, everything needs to match the way it matches on documents. So if you're a sole proprietor, if you're an LLC, a corporation, everything that you put here has to match what your documents show. Now, I've removed personal information from here because of demonstration purposes, but let's go through this now. So in here, you could have a logo, your friendly business name, and then your legal name. What is it registered under? So let me give you an example. So as you can see here, legal business name is Visibility Cloud, LLC. But from the State Department of New Jersey, it actually isn't that. The legal name is Visibility Cloud, LLC. And so when I kept failing my A2P registration, I couldn't figure out why. And it was because I had the darn comma in there. So make sure you double check that. Your business email is fine. Your business phone number, your business website, what niche are you in? Here's your API key for that sub account. And the physical address of your business. It could be home. For many years, my home address was all of my businesses until I started getting weird people knocking on my door. True story. People thought there was an in-person training at my home. And so that triggered me saying, nope, no more businesses registered to my name. Matter of fact, nothing registered to my name. And so you need to make sure that you have this set up correctly. I mean, it's self-explanatory. A big thing too, when purchasing a phone number, make sure your time zone is correct. The platform is correct. You need to have all of this filled out. It is important, important, important. We're an LLC. We're in the education business portion of it. Here's our EIN number. And we're in the USA and Canada. I'm the authorized representative. And then you have down here, do we allow duplicate opportunity? Anytime you set this up, do not allow duplicate opportunity. You can merge Facebook contacts by name. This is fine. We just don't have that clicked. Disable contact time zone. You want to keep that time zone because if they're booking an appointment and they're in the UK and they're in the US, it's not going to make any sense. Mark emails as invalid due to a hard bounce, so we want to do that. Validate phone numbers when the first SMS is sent to a contact. We want to do that. We want to make sure that the account is compliant with a opt-out message, and we need to make sure that the SMS is compliant by adding a sender information. Okay. We do not allow duplicate contacts. So somebody opts in, somebody books an appointment, and then somebody purchases. You're going to have 3 contacts. You do not want to do that. So do not allow duplicate contacts. You can enable or disable deprecated features, which essentially what it is that if I enable this, any new features that come out will essentially not override it where they won't work anymore, but it's not going to keep the old version. It's going to automatically move it to the new version. I hope that makes sense. Don't worry, I had to Google this when I was looking to turn these on and off. I didn't even know what that meant. It's a software term. Missed call text back, we have that enabled. Again, as long as all your automations and everything is correct, you can disable it in the beginning. I always have our students disable this until their entire account is set up, and then if they want, they can enable it. Okay, so that is the business info. We go over to profile. In the personal data, again, this is who is running the account. You can put your information here, your client's information. Your client's information really is about the business info, but again, you can do as you choose here. You could have it you or you could have it them. Who's using it is a question. You can enable a signature on outgoing messages. You can integrate Zoom or Outlook. We don't do that. We have two-way syncing with email, so you can connect to sync incoming and outgoing emails between the CRM and your personal email account. On the right side, you can change your password. What's the user availability? Make sure your time zone is correct. You can have your available hours here. And I will touch upon, when I get into the calendars down below, more on the calendars. So we'll be talking a little bit more. So you can set all your information there. And then your calendar configuration is the primary calendar. So if you take, by the way, if you're in Go High Level, always utilize these little question marks. They actually help. You can set the calendar you would like to add new events to as they are scheduled. So that would be my main calendar. And then you're going to set the calendar to check for conflicts to prevent double booking. And then in the check for calendars, it just basically says set the calendar to check for conflicts to prevent double bookings. So if you want to have more than one calendar, so you just basically want to have your primary calendar, and that is the calendar you're going to add new events to as they're scheduled. And then if you want to make sure that you don't get double booked, essentially you can put the same calendar in for conflicts as well. Company billing. It's your card on file that this sub account gets billed for based on usage. It could be based on emails, text messages. So big warning sign. Again, I urge you, client credit card. Unless you're utilizing it for your own agency, obviously you're gonna have your credit card, but any clients, it should be their credit card. Unless you have some crazy offer that you're paying for their texts, you're paying for their emails, and you're paying for everything, that's up to you. But I suggest putting your client credit card on there. Staff. By the way, this red thing here is Go High Level does a great job letting you know when things are going wrong. Like right now, I have an error in a workflow. I know what it is, but it's good that it reminds you. So I'm just gonna close that. So in our team management, this is everybody that is working in our sub account. Who has access to the sub account? Who has the ability to make changes and everything in between? And the best thing to do here is we're gonna go into edit. And so this will be all their staff members' info. You can have their own customer signature because remember, if they're logged into theirs and they're conversing, let's say it's a salesperson, they can have a custom signature going out. Here's where the permissions here, like for example, this person doesn't need my dashboard stats. They don't need to see campaigns or triggers. It's a sales guy. They do need to see opportunities and their assigned contacts. I'll go through that in a second. They don't need to see online listings. They actually don't need to see communities. They only need to see assigned data. I don't want them seeing all of my data. I only want to see the data that was assigned to them through booking a call with them. You could show them the lead value. They don't even really need that or any of these. Matter of fact, attribution reporting. They don't need any of this. They don't need payments, invoicing, payment refunds. Appointments they definitely need. They don't need bulk requests or funnels. They definitely need conversations. They don't need reviews, memberships, settings, tags, marketing. Matter of fact, again, going through this training makes me realize things that they actually are seeing that they don't need to see. Call reporting definitely, agent reporting definitely, because they can look at their own reporting. Record payment and cancel subscription. Again, these don't pertain to them. What is their role? They're a user, not an admin. Here's the phone number. So every staff member is assigned a phone number, at least for us. You can forward calls to a web app. And if you put here, when selected calls will be routed to your web app. Forward calls to their phone. We used to do that with one guy and then he was bombarded. He's like, I can't do this anymore. You could have your own, again, upload a voicemail message from him. So if they call his inbound tracking number, it could be, hey, you've reached Alex, leave a message. Again, another thing that I'm like, maybe we should do this. User availability. And so this is when you're setting up a calendar, here is an important piece of the puzzle is, and again, when I get to calendars, I'll show you, but the round robin calendar as the admin setup, you want to make that calendar midnight to midnight, or yeah, I guess midnight to midnight, Monday through 7 days a week. And the reason why is because that calendar is going to pull the availability from the staff settings. And so as you can see here, this one works 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now, if they do have a block in the middle that they do not work for like 4 hours. And the way they do that is on their Google Calendar, they just put a block there and then it won't book them there because it's checking for their conflicts. Okay. And so the best way to do that is midnight to midnight in the setup of the calendar. I'll show you in a second, and then have the staff member. And it could be you. You could be the only staff member. You set your hours in the My Staff tab. And down here is the calendar integration. So it's going to have this as the primary calendar, and it's going to check for conflicts on this calendar. Sales pipeline we talked about. Don't need to talk about it again. If I hit create new pipeline, let me take this blur off. If I hit create new pipeline, I can name it testing, or here, let's call it a cold email pipeline. And you can set the stages by saying prospect, opened email. We can go head over. Let me see if I have a. All right, I think this won't show any. This is all test data anyway. So if I go over here, now what I could do is I had a new lead in or prospect. right? And the way I got that was, you could go check out my cold email setup campaign on YouTube. I'll put it up there. Every contact we upload gets into the new lead. Then if they open, there will be an automation that will move them automatically. It will update opportunity. And then also if they click the link, because we have a trigger link, it'll get moved to here. Open 2 times. I don't have that set up on that one. Did they reply? And then so if they booked an appointment, we can automatically slide it. If we sent a proposal or we close them, so we can move them around as we so wish outside of the automations. Okay. This was more of this is too in depth. I don't advise even looking at this for cold email. This was a system that we set up that failed miserably years ago, 2.5 years ago, maybe. And we now run it much, much smoother, faster, easier. So you can go check that video out. So now we have calendars. And like I said, if I go here to create calendar and I choose the round robin, you can add a description. And now I could select everybody I want on it. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this. And I'm going to select this one. Okay. Now you need to have a slug. So it would be testing, and it'll tell you if it's taken. Calendar. 16. Okay. How long is my meeting? My meeting is going to be 45 minutes. What's my booking available, or what's the calendar's booking availability? Remember I said Monday through Saturday. We don't want to accept payment, so we're just going to hit confirm. Okay, and it automatically gives it to me, but I need to edit some stuff. So test calendar, let's go edit. And so here's our test calendar. We can put a description. We can have a group of people, or we can put them in a group of calendars if you want. You don't need to. And then there's some stuff that Go High Level automatically puts, like for example, the invite titles would be contact name. So you could put whatever you want there. Again, this is just what shows up in their calendar. Here's my people. And so now, let's say Robert's been working with us for 6 years, which is actually true. We simply can say, Robert, he's going to have high priority. Frank is medium, and Alex, he's new, so we're going to make him low. And what Go High Level is going to do on this calendar, it's going to show, if Robert, Alex, and Frank all work the same hours, 9 to 5, and Robert is open at 10 a.m., Alex is open at 10 a.m., and Frank is open at 10 a.m., and the user wants 10 a.m., it's going to give it to Robert first because he's the high priority. After somebody books that, and then somebody else also an hour later wants a 10 a.m., well, it's now going to look and say, well, Robert's booked. Who's the next in line? Well, Frank, because he's medium priority, so on and so forth. So that's how it works with that. You could change the color of the event. You can go to availability here. As I said, you're going to make it Monday through Sunday, noon to noon. Meeting interval, again, use these little things. Meeting interval reflects the amount of time, the between booking slots that will be shown in the calendar. For a 30-minute event that should be available at the top of each hour, the interval would be 1 hour. For a 30-minute event that should be available every 30 minutes, the interval. So it would be top of the hour. Or we can change it to hours. Just say, we only book at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m. No 10:30, no 11:45. It's every hour. It's a 45-minute meeting. Minimum scheduling notice is saying, can I book on somebody's calendar in an hour? Well, you don't really want to do that, because what if that person woke up in the morning and was like, oh, I only have 3 appointments in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, so during the day I'm going to go take my kid to lunch. I don't know. So we want to make sure that I do 6 hours. It gives people enough time. So I do a minimum scheduling notice of 6. Most people do 12 or 24 hours. We do 6. It works really well. And the date range is, and again, use the question marks. Date range means the events can be scheduled over how many days. Never go more than 3, max 4. Okay? Anybody that's ever watched Sam Ovens, I started in the coaching industry about 2 years after Sam Ovens, and one of the first things I learned from him, or 3 years maybe, was don't let people book on your calendar more than 3, max 4. They just won't show. And and there are times where our calendars get so booked, we have to go 4 or 5 days because we just don't want the calendar to be empty. And the show rate is 10% when you go to look at the appointments that booked, on Monday, and their appointment wasn't until Friday. Like, nobody showed up Friday. So 3 to 4 days, maximum bookings per day. We leave that blank because I don't care how many people book, because once everybody's scheduled, they can't book anymore. Maximum bookings per slot per user. It's important. So Robert only takes 1 call per hour. I'm not going to allow him to take 2 calls or 3 calls, only 1. And how much time do you need, which is called buffer time? I don't necessarily need to put anything here because my meetings are on every hour and my meeting duration is less than an hour. Let's go to forms and payments. And so this is important. And I'm gonna backtrack for a second, because every calendar, you can have a default, which is first name, last name, email, phone, and then notes, right? That's the default form. As you can see here, calendar is a form. Remember, I talked about forms and surveys. So if you want on your calendar to collect more data than just first name, last name, email, phone, you need to go create a form, call it calendar form, call it whatever you want. And then from here, you could select that form. Remember, forms and surveys live outside funnels, websites, and calendars. We need to have a consent checkbox. This is very important. A2P registration requires you have a consent checkbox. I can pre-populate fields with sticky contacts. I don't do this on the calendar because we find that sometimes people are curious. They put in the wrong email, the fake name, and then when they are like, oh no, this is something I definitely want to do, and they get to the calendar and the sticky contact just carries the data over, and then it's going to automatically put the wrong email, wrong name, and some people, they're doing it on the phone, they don't realize it, and you get the wrong thing. So I don't pre-populate that. Here is you could add guests. So this person can choose add guests, and they can put somebody else that's also going to attend the meeting. Confirmation page, you could have a default or a redirect. I love the redirect URLs, and I love them because there's nothing better than booking a call and having something we call a pre-call page, where you could say, hey, nice to meet you. My name is James Bonnies with Visibility Cloud LLC. We're a marketing company in Wayne, New Jersey, and we appreciate you booking a call. Here's some of the things you need to know. Here's some of our track record. Here's what to expect. You're getting an email. This is a phone call, not a Zoom call. This is a Zoom call, not a phone call. So you just let them know. It's like directions. Yes, confirmations go out. There's great data that tells you a pre-call page will have a better show rate. You can throw a pixel ID on here. So if you're running Facebook ads, you can keep track of people who land on this and book a call. We're going to auto confirm new meetings, because when you don't, it's going to send them from Google, basically from like their Google Calendar that says, hey, confirm, like, hey, will you be attending? And nobody ever sees this. And if they don't confirm, nobody knows what's going to happen. So I auto confirm it. You can accept payments. Notifications and additional options. Select the type of notification, acknowledgement email. That is a default go high level email. Who should receive this? You could have the actual contact. The assigned user could also get an invite or say, hey, somebody booked on your calendar. Or you can put in somebody. I typically do the contact. Here is allow Google Calendar to send an invitation or update emails to attendees. We don't check that. Assign contacts to the respective calendar team members each time an appointment is booked. We do that. Skip assigning contact if the contact is already an assigned user. So, okay, let's explain each one of these. This one, Google, we don't want Google sending anything. This one, assign contacts to their respective calendar team members each time an appointment is booked. I'm James. I book a call with Nick. Go High Level is going to assign me as the contact to Nick, who is the team member. I want to do that because remember, Nick and my staff only see assigned data. So they need to see the person in Go High Level. Skip assigning the contact if the contact has already an assigned user. We don't want to do that because what happens if I book a call, I'm assigned Nick, I never cancel the call, I forget, or this happens a lot. And then you're like, oh, you know what? I don't remember when that is. Let me go book another call. I book another call. And if I have this checked, and I book another call and I don't land on Nick's calendar, I land on Robert's calendar. Well, I will be still assigned to Nick, but it's Robert that now has the call, and I won't be assigned to them. So we want to leave that unchecked. Okay, you may have to rewind that and re-listen to it. And any customization, we can put an image. We're going to use the Neo widget style. I just like it better than the classic. Allow staff selection during booking. And we will allow rescheduling. We will allow canceling, and any additional notes is here. And that's it. Then you hit save, close it, and your calendar is set up. You can embed it. You could choose it in a funnel and all those great things that Go High Level does. Phone numbers. You know what? I'm going to unprotect this, and then I'll blur it out on the edit. So in the US, you could easily just go hit add phone number here, right? You're going to go here on the United States. I'm going to buy it. It's $1.15 a month here. If I want to purchase, so this is going to be country. I'm going to search by digits, first part of the number, and hit apply. And that will give me the area code that I want. This is actually different than what it was even 2 months ago. So this is good that I'm redoing this. So you go to filter, number, 973, first part. So that's how I could choose my area code. Now I'm going to choose a number. I'm going to buy it. It's $1.15 a month. Okay, when I do that, you immediately, if you're going to start texting, you're going to immediately need to start going through the A2P 10LC compliant. Now, when you get approved for being compliant, it's per sub account. It's not the number, it's the sub account. So when you get this sub account approved, any new number you purchase will also be approved within that sub account. If you have 5 clients, you're going to have to do this 5 different times. And I'm going to go through that in just a second. If you're in the UK, you don't need. If you're anywhere outside the US right now, you don't need to do it. But there's still some things you need to do. Usage summary. So this account typically spends $300 to $400 a month in usage. $186 here this month so far. $181 in calls, $61 in text messages. We sent 3,872. So it's inexpensive stuff, right? What are some other charges? We have some carrier fees. We have more carrier fees, lookups, answering machines, call conferences, call recordings, phone numbers. So you're going to absorb. We do a lot of volume. So it's not, you're going to be nowhere near this. But this is a good way to see all of your usage. Regulatory bundle. If you're in the UK, you're going to create a regulatory bundle. It's very easy. I'm sorry. If you're in the UK, you're going to create an address bundle. You're going to hit next, fill this information in, hit submit. You'll most likely get approved. That's what you need in the UK, maybe Canada. Outside of those, so you may be in Australia, you're going to need to create a regulatory bundle. You're going to hit next. You're going to be in Australia. It's a business. We're going to do a local number, a mobile number. We're going to hit next. Business name. All of this needs to match the business info. I'm not going to go through this now. I have all training on it. In order to utilize phone numbers via Lead Connector or Twilio, Lead Connector is just the middleman between us and Twilio, and they get cheaper rates because it's such mass volume. There's a lot of countries outside the US require you to have a regulatory bundle. It's basically phone numbers. In most countries, they require registration. The regulations often require providing a set of identity documents like a regulatory bundle to carriers or a local enforcement agency. Make sure you are providing relevant information and supporting documents, or bundle address may be rejected. Essentially, they need to know you're a real business. They need to know a real business name, real address. And so if you have a client, just ask them for that information in that document so you can get them a tracking number. Just work with real businesses and become a real business yourself, and you don't have to worry about these things. Trust Center, I'm already registered here, but you would need to start registration, fill in all the information. You have got to make sure the business information is correct. You have got to make sure that the messages you're sending are correct, are in compliance, and you have got to make sure that you have opt-ins, opt-outs, and you have got to make sure that you explain the messages that are sent out that allowed that person to say, hey, it's okay, you're allowed to text me. Okay, that is what this Trust Center is. And you just fill it. Business profile is, this is approved very simply by making sure that everything in the business info is matching. And then the brand and campaign registration is just, okay, if you're running message marketing, what are you sending to these people? How are you getting their contacts? What message are you sending? How do they opt in, opt out, and all that stuff. There's a ton of information all over the place about how to properly do this. Reputation management, we talked a little bit about this. You can send a request review. I can generate a link as long as I have the Google Business Profile connected to this account. You can decide what happens when you click the review link. Send review request immediately or follow a custom schedule. We send it immediately. We don't really utilize this. Clients do, but we don't. What would the branding look like? So SMS review requests, you can click that on and create your branding around it. Email review requests, again, you can email it, set your branding around it. We have a whole reputation management training, an entire training. I've done 4 videos on this YouTube channel. Look up above for the full training of it. I combined all of them into one long training. And then you could request your review widget, and you could put it on like a website. Custom fields, very, very, very important. And it's important in some sense if you're going to do things kind of outside the box of Go High Level. And custom fields, think about it like this. Custom fields are used as a field in a form, in a survey, in a calendar, which would be a form. That is what a custom field is, and you can create them here, or you can create them in the Forms and Surveys editor. I'm going to slide this custom field sheets. And by the way, anything you see that I show is all available in the free resources section. The link to get into that is there, and then you click the classroom tab. So here are custom fields internally from Go High Level. For example, the contact full name is contact name. These are all already there. All of these things are already built into Go High Level. You don't have to create new ones. So these wouldn't be, they're custom fields, but they're not ones that you have to create. So again, this list is in the free resources, so you know maybe you need to create one. So that's what custom fields are. And so the cool what custom values allows you to do is it allows you to send an email to a massive amount of people, and it then will allow you to pull the value here. So let's look for an example. So here's a good one. So let's do hours of operation, custom value. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to put Monday through Friday, and I'm going to hit update. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this custom, and let's go, and let's say I want to send an email. Testing custom. So I could say, hi James. Don't forget our hours of operation are custom values. So I don't have to keep retyping the same thing. And I'm going to hit send. And so now, as you can see, James, don't forget our hours of operation are, and it pulled from the custom value. Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, the text is like that because I accidentally have different text of that. I could change that and make it the same. But either way, I didn't even have to log in. I could just look right here. So that would be the way that you would use custom values, is that you don't have to continue to type the same thing. And then also, I can click this little plus sign, and I can go over to custom value. And then I'll have the ability type in hours of operation. So I can also choose it within an email. I can choose it within an email template. I could choose it within a text message. I could choose it in the automations when sending an email. Okay, that is why custom values is very powerful as well. So let's go over to domains. All right, domains. Again, you could use Go High Level's help, but essentially is I'm building a funnel for somebody. I need to attach a domain. I'm just going to click add, type the domain. I'm trying to think if I could do an example of one. So I'm actually going to do an example really quick. I'm going to add freetowtruckfunnel.com. I had this connected to, for example, ClickFunnels. As you can see, I'm going to delete that. And now I'm going to go through the steps of adding a domain. So I'm going to hit add. I want to also add www. They probably changed the way we used to do this too. I'm going to hit continue. And then I'm going to have to actually set it up. Your domain provider is, and then find out what records will be added. So we're going to add a record at that. Copy to clipboard, add new record, a at value. Save. Go back here. CNAME WW flash funnels. Add new record. CNAME WW. Save. Now it could take some time to properly add it. And I'm going to hit authorize domain. Hit connect. You have successfully enabled the lead, blah, blah, blah. And now it'll authorize. Okay, so it authorized it, and now it's going to say link domain to a funnel. So I can choose any of these funnels to link it. I'm not going to choose any, but you could. That's where you would link it directly to a funnel, or you can go into the funnel and link it from there. Any default options is basically saying, hey, if something goes on with the domain, where do you want me to send them? And usually it's homepage and homepage. So that is how you add a domain. Any media that you want to just upload ahead of time, or you could upload it in the funnel or website area. Your URL redirects, essentially, like for example, free tow truck funnel. If I want people who land on the free tow truck funnel because they're interested in it, and then I want to redirect it to another domain, I could add a redirect to it. Integrations. I have all of these integrated here. So these are staff members that utilize our calendar, so they're all added on here. Then we have our Google Ads account connected here. That would be under my email. I can select a Google Business Profile or GMB page. It's the same thing. They changed GMB to GBP. I can connect my Facebook Ads account to this. I can connect my QuickBooks to this. I could connect my TikTok to this, my Slack, my Shopify, Stripe, any of that. So I have a lot of these connected, and some of them I don't. Email services. I believe in the video above, the cold email walkthrough, I walk through how to set up email. Essentially, you can have lead connector and then add a dedicated domain. And I do walk through it somewhere in that video. For purposes of this video, this is just where you connect either your domain or your client's domain. Now, here's a question I always get. James, I have a client. He owns a hardscape company. He has info@companyname.com. Can I use that email? No, you cannot, because you don't want to run any risks with a client's personal assets. So what you could do is you could say, I'm gonna go get a domain for my client. Maybe they'll pay for it. Maybe that you want to include it in your package. And that domain is going to be info, it could be any, whatever, at, let's use Squalco because it's a client. Squalco. So I could say squalconj.com. His main company name is squalco.com, or company website is squalco.com. I'm doing his hardscaping advertising, so maybe I can do squalconj.com, squalcomonmouthcounty.com, squalconewjersey.com, squalcohardscaping.com, right? So you're just adding more to the end of a branded business. because the last thing you want to do is mess up. You're sending emails and something happens, it gets blacklisted, and now it's like their main company is blacklisted, or the main company domain is blacklisted from sending emails. And your client's like, well, I've never had any problems before. Why do I have problems now? So you're just going to buy a domain similar to your client's company name. Tags you can add here. You can add directly in an automation. You could add directly to a contact. Many ways you could add tags. It's simple. Labs, we talked about this earlier. They have all these different things that again, it depends on the account. But like right now I have calendars. I have a Neo Group View template. So I have that checked off. I could check off and give everybody that is utilizing all the clients that I have on Agency Toolbox, white labeled version of Go High Level. I can give them the CRM document management. I can give them sticky filters, multiple phones and conversations. And so I'm part of a beta program. So you may not, if you're new, you may not even have access to these things. But these are ways that I can try things out. And if I like this new version, I can use it, or I can uncheck it and use the old version. Audit logs is the same thing we talked about way earlier. This is where you can see everything that's happening in the sub account now. At the agency level, it's everything that's happening in all of the sub accounts. This is just showing me what's happened in the sub account. And companies, if I turn this on, this will associate my company and put my company details onto all of the contacts that are in here. I don't need to do that. I don't really know where this would be used, but I understand the concept behind it. Essentially what it's saying is every contact that comes in here, I want you in their contact record to associate my company with them, and then it'll be in their contact records. I don't see a reason to have to do that. And so we've entered the end of all of the menu items, everything in between. And there's nothing that I can really think of other than telling you to like, subscribe, and comment. Turn your notifications on for future videos, 1 to 2 a week. And this was a long one, and I applaud you for watching the whole thing if you made it this far. And if you did make it this far, I want to invite you to come into our free resources section called James's YouTube. The link is down below. I'll also pin a comment. And for watching this, I am going to tell you how to get the setup guides. It will be a Go High Level agency setup guide. Everything you need to know to set up your agency, a checklist. It comes with a beautiful little chart here. Ignore the agency toolbox that could just say Go High Level. And so you'll get those 2 guides, and you'll get everything else that is in this classroom under YouTube free resources. You have a niche pricing structure, a prospecting tractor, a CQI qualification interview script, a actual sales script, cold email scripts, cold email setup checklist. That was from a previous video I did. So always make sure you check in here. I have some snapshots like the agency model snapshot, reputation management, referral automations, contract and onboarding. Either way, everything that you need is right now in this community. And I have an entire Go High Level training, which I actually plan on redoing the entire thing, just like I did today, but in depth, like deep in depth. Every single step you need to take separated by video. This will get you started. And as I've mentioned before, my training is geared toward what you need. Not every little feature Go High Level offers. Don't waste your time in the weeds. Don't get paralyzed by analyzing everything. When you want to run lead generation, we give you an overview and a lead generation setup start to finish. Message marketing, an overview and setting up message marketing start to finish. If you remember this little drawing that I put here, there is a way to set up your agency. You'll get a checklist. There's a way to set up message marketing. There is a way to set up rep management. There's a way to set up lead gen. And in this training, you will find all of those videos, plus extra core videos, plus extra higher end trainings that you may need or may not need. I hope this was beneficial. I appreciate you watching. This was a long one. This took me a very long time to do, and it's going to take me even longer to edit. Appreciate your time. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe and turn the notifications on, because even if I come out with videos that you're not interested in, you never know which one will turn that little knob in your head to I don't get it to now I do. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.